Hello, gorgeous. Welcome back to the bonus episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. On the heels of what we spoke about on last week's regular old episode, I want to put out there some fantastic organizations that have been vetted and you can go to and give whatever you possibly can. Los Angeles definitely needs you guys right now. And remember, LA isn't just home to celebrities with a lot of money. People have come from all over the world in hopes for dreams and a better life. And a lot of those people came and have been in their homes for decades. And they're just regular people like us. And I want you to remember that part. Before I give this laundry list of incredible organizations, in the last episode, Landon, I cut you off and you weren't able to talk about the incredible firefighter program for inmates.
Yeah.
And I think we need to talk about that.
I think it's really cool. Pretty impressive. One, awesome that we could get additional resources, right? And additional manpower to go out and fight it. But this program, I was reading a guy that used to be in it. He's out now. And he was detailing how it works. And it was really, really cool. And so this program, CAL FIRE comes in. It's a voluntary program. You have to agree to go into it. So some people were, I think, talking about it was like, oh, terrible conditions. How can you force these people to go work, right?
Oh, okay. So people thought it was like, hey, you, inmate 4756, get your ass out there. And that's not what it's like.
No, not what it's like at all. And so you have to volunteer to go into it. And you have to have less than 7 years on your prison sentence left, because it reduces the time you have to serve by doing this. And CAL FIRE comes in, they do a short training, not like a full fire training, but a short training. And they work only they don't use water at all in their fighting. So they get like hand tools to like
clean the brush. So they make
and prevent the fire from spreading more.
Got it.
So they go in on the ground. They don't man an engine or anything like that. But once they get into the program, they go into these fire camps. It's not just during the wildfires. They're out of prison, out of the prison system, or not the prison system, but out of the prison walls for the rest of their sentence. And they're in these wilderness camps where they train, and they're there and doing stuff year round. They're living in the wilderness, which sounds, from this one guy, it's a hell of a lot better than the prison system. They get better food out there. During fires, they get really good food, he was saying. And they make a little bit of money. It's not a lot. It's
like $10 a day,
$5 to $10 a day, all year round. And then during a wildfire, they get additional $1 per hour when they're actively fighting a fire.
But the other thing that is great is they're learning, and they can they be firefighters when they're out of prison? Is that something that they...
Yeah, so the program's really awesome because when they get out, they're eligible to get their record completely expunged, which makes it a lot easier to get any type of job. But they also have programs like Ventura County has one that'll take them in to help them actually become official firefighters when they get out. So it's
giving them a career as well.
A really awesome way to do it. And I saw a TikTok, again, going back to last week when we were talking about TikTok going away, but interviewing some of these inmates that were fighting. And a lot of them were like, I found my passion. Like, I really love doing this. Like, I'm helping people. And they're not violent offenders either, right? You have to be like minimum security. They couldn't have done anything crazy.
So there's stipulations on who's eligible.
Yeah, it's not just, hey, we'll take anybody.
Right.
It's stipulation on who's eligible. But a few of the people were like, yeah, I'm excited. I get to go into the Ventura County program when I get out. My record's going to be cleaned. They're like, I get a fresh start. And I found something that I love and that I can help people. Like, what an awesome thing.
That is. And you said that they have to have 7 years or less on their sentence, right?
7 years or less to be eligible
left
for it.
So like, say you went for 10 and then you served and now you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That is an incredible program. And they did make a difference. So here's some ways that you can help out, you guys. Baby to Baby is accepting donations to support children impacted by the wildfires. I have to tell you, Ocean, because we left and she actually just had the fire department at her school. So she's very into telling me that, when she knew about the fire, she said, Mom, we have to call 911 and we have to tell them. And I tried to explain the best way that I could. Hi, baby. There she is. I'm talking about you.
Do you want to come over here and say hi?
She's in Christmas pajamas still. She pulls them out. She goes, Mom, am I allowed to wear Christmas pajamas? Because Christmas is over?
Peanut?
I said, you can wear whatever you want. Ocean, what are you going to do with some of your toys and clothes for kids that were affected by the fire?
I'm going to give a little bit toys away.
I love that. That's so great. So I know a lot of people with kids have been trying to explain the best way they can. And I think, we need to explain to our kids who are old enough without making it scary, but how we can help. I mean, it was a tremendous learning experience. I can't say that Ocean at the beginning when I said we're going to clear your toys out was excited about it. And then we had to sit down and had a very productive conversation. You can also go to GoFundMe. They have compiled a list of verified fundraisers for people impacted by the fires. SPCALA's Disaster Animal Response Team, they're looking for donations to support emergency services, temporary animal shelters, and frontline veterinary care. Mom was watching the TikTok, and she was like,
Lisa's on the talk?
She's on the talk.
She's on the talk.
She was like, look at these firefighters. They're saving animals. And it's like, I'm like, babe, that's AI. Not
The
how
most gullible.
Got to watch out for that AI.
But then I went into the comment section, and actually most people did believe it. There were only like 2 people that were like, guys, it's AI.
Well, did you see everybody that thought that the Hollywood sign was on fire? Because did you see the AI?
Yeah, I did.
In flames, and people are like, it's gone. And then other people were like, it's right here.
No, I don't like AI, you guys.
What's so crazy is we're near it, and I saw the Hollywood sign on fire, and I was like, it's got to be real. It's got to be real.
Easton got.
and I had to wait till the next morning.
We got a lot.
Yeah. It was so crazy, these fires. Anything was possible.
The Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation is accepting donations to support firefighters and let me reread that. Is accepting donations to support firefighters on the front lines. The foundation is seeking monetary donations, wildland brush tools, hydration backpacks, and emergency fire shelters. The California Fire Foundation is looking for donations. The Salvation Army, World Central Kitchen, that's spearheaded by Chef Jose Andres. He has a relief team in Southern California to assist first responders and their families. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank, Direct Relief is also accepting donations, community organized relief effort. All of these links, you guys, are going to be posted on the video. As far as mental health resources, Los Angeles County Access Center, we'll put that phone number up, 988 Suicide and Crisis Hotline. You can call or text them. That'll be posted. California Department of Public Health, Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health Resources. All of these, again, are going to be posted on the video that also comes out today on YouTube. I'll make sure on my Instagram at Give Them Lala Pod, we'll post all of it. I think all of us are taking some kind of supplement, and if we are not, we should be. But a lot of supplement companies are charging ridiculous prices for products that really don't seem to be that special. And that's why I want to introduce to you LiveGood, a brand that's turning the supplement industry on its head. LiveGood believes that everyone deserves access to high-quality supplements that won't break their budget. LiveGood offers premium products formulated by their industry-leading team and natural health experts. LiveGood sent me some supplements to try for free. They sent the collagen peptides. I wanted to try those because collagen helps your skin, hair, and nails, and also has great benefits for your bone, joint, and muscle health. And since I'm back working out with Jenna, I thought the collagen would fit my new fitness goals perfectly. I think my skin's already showing the benefits, and I know my post-workout recovery seems to be much quicker too. All thanks to the collagen. And it's easy. I just drop a scoop of the collagen into my morning coffee. LiveGood also has organic super greens, multivitamins, weight loss products, protein powder, hormone products, skincare products, and so much more. Ready to make the switch and start saving? We'll make it even easier for you. Use our link and you can save an additional 10% off of your first order on top of the already lowest prices. Just go to livegood.com/Lala to save 10% on your first order. That's livegood.com/Lala. Don't miss out on the opportunity to invest in your health without overspending. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. So, I wanted to talk about good hearts in the world, right? Because we don't see them, I feel, as much as we should. They're definitely highlighted on the news. When you watch the news, you see great people who have come together and they're doing their thing. A lot of us don't watch the news anymore. We only get our news from social media platforms. And you go into the comments section and it is a cesspool of people who are just not that kind. It's okay. I'm not going to judge them. I'm going to leave it at that. But I asked people on Instagram some stories. So I'm going to read some of those. While I do that, Easton, can you tell me a time that you were needing someone and they showed up for you?
Yeah. When Dad passed,
Okay.
I had Alec Russin and Taylor Apgood. And I will say their names because they saved me.
Because we say them all the time.
All the time. But yes, those two, after Dad passed and I found him in the morning, because Mom and you wanted to be at the Grand, and then you guys left, and I was just there, and Taylor and Alex slept over at the house for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
As I was like waking up in night terrors, and they'd wake up with me.
I love that.
Yeah. So they were
good.
the ones who
Good people.
Who, yeah,
They're good people.
they pulled through. I mean, Alec took work off and to just help me and just be, even if I was just sitting there, they were just there,
love that.
Blank stare. So yes. And I'm glad that we did this podcast because I kind of forgot about it,
Well,
as time goes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they
showed up for you.
Yeah.
I love that. Do you have a time, Land?
Yeah, I mean, after my parents split, I was 12 and, just a very, very rough time, rough for my parents as well. And, unfortunately, I think, more common than not, but the kids kind of get forgotten about in the whole thing of it. My parents are great. Love them, but they were going through a tough time. But just my community, my teachers at school really took extra time with me to make sure I was okay. I remember those conversations, them keeping me after class and checking in, making sure I was good. Other people in my community making sure, I still stayed active in like sports and things like that so that I wasn't just falling off.
Sitting at home in your emotions.
Unfortunately, I saw other people. I had a couple other close friends that all within the same year, our parents split. And, not one had a good community support system as well, and he's turned out great. The other did not. And
is the other one you? I'm just kidding.
But the other one, he's been, he went to drugs and he's been in and out of prison. And I think, with
a good support team is big.
Without that, I could have gone down that same exact path.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to do that, right? They didn't need to come and take that extra time, but they did.
They did it because they have good hearts.
Yeah, that's good.
I think for me, it was when Dad passed away and I was very deep into the bottle. And we came out to Utah for his wake, and people who I haven't seen in years who just, even from high school, where it was like, you're here right now. And it also made me open my eyes like, wow, I need to show up a little bit harder for people. Because people can look very strong and on the inside they're crumbling.
And it's the little things through hard times, like check in, send a text, call somebody. Like, don't just, I know we talked about last week that people, once the news stops covering it, it's the long-term stuff. Like, continue to check in. I'm glad you said like a mental health resource on that list, because I think what people think about the physical destruction, but for teenagers, for little kids, for anybody really, but the trauma that people went through during
this is going
to be a long-term effect, and check in on those people. It's going to be a battle.
Well, my mom, her mom, my mom's mom, Mimi, she lost her home in a fire when she was young, and we were talking about it, and it still impacted her through my mom being alive, and it was before that. So it's incredible what this devastation can do.
My oldest sister, McCall, she was living in Florida for a year, doing a year of college out there at my grandparents' when a tornado came through and destroyed my grandparents' home. Terrible thing. But it struck at, I think, like 3:37 or something in the morning. And for years, my sister would wake up at that hour every single night because of the trauma.
Of course.
And
It's like a night terror.
For the people in the Palisades, it was a nighttime thing. For the people in Altadena, it's those effects will be long lasting. And get the help you need. Don't be afraid to get the help.
Right.
And also, if you know somebody that you think could use it, encourage them. Be a help.
Yeah, I fully
It's not
agree
just
with
money
you.
either. It's take care of your brain.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Because I hope, I just hope a lot of people that have lost things keep their mental, and I hope a lot of people make it easy for them to keep their mental. Like with all the loss that they've had, the last thing you want to do is go down a darker route.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing. It's like we're going to be in a very tough situation for the next 5 to 10 years plus.
Right.
And it's very big to keep everybody mentally sane and not go down the path of you've lost everything. Why am I here?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
You all know the hair struggles that I have had over the years. Whether it's due to pregnancy hormones or bleaching it over the years, Nutriful has had me covered through all stages of life. Right now, I am experiencing the postpartum shedding. And let me tell you who has stepped up to the plate. Nutriful Postpartum. That is what I'm taking right now. It's breastfeeding friendly, so I don't have to worry about that. And my hair is already stronger and looking fuller. Nutriful is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, and it's trusted by over 1 million people. You will see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutriful. Everyone's root causes of hair thinning are different, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth does not cut it. Nutriful has multiple formulas that are tailored to help give your hair what it needs to grow throughout different stages, like postpartum or menopause, and even different lifestyles like plant-based diets. Building a hair growth routine is very simple. Purchase online, no prescription required, and automated deliveries and free shipping keep you right on track. Plus, with Nutriful subscription, you can save up to 20%. Start your hair growth journey with Nutriful. For a limited time, Nutriful is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutriful.com and enter the promo code LALA10. Find out why over 4,500 professionals and stylists recommend Nutriful for healthier hair. Nutriful.com, spelled Nutrafol.com. Promo code LALA10. That's Nutrifol.com, promo code LALA10.
So
Yes.
I had a lot of people write in, and these are, I said big or small, because even something small could be something huge, right?
Hey, $1 from everybody in this country would be an enormous.
But even like Landon said, a text.
Oh,
friends
yes.
bringing meals over after my 3-week hospitalization, a preemie in NICU, 2.5 months. Isn't it wild where it's like someone just showing up to be like, anything you need. You need a meal. You need a phone call that's just like, hey, let me vent, and just like you being a soundboard for me makes all the difference in the world.
And those meals taste the best.
Home cooked meals do taste the best.
Yes, when they bring
They're
them
few
to
and
you,
far
you're like,
between.
wow, you cared for me.
Uh-huh.
You thought of me. This food really tastes great.
Yeah.
House fire summer before senior year, and the church community helped. Dogs, clothes, housing. There were a lot of people that wrote in about experiencing their houses burning down and how their community, a lot of people saying the church that they were a part of really stepped up to the plate. And I think that that's
Huge.
amazing.
Yes.
It's times like that where your community, maybe people that you didn't expect to show up for you. It's like, wow, Jan from 3 houses down, who I've said 3 words to, is like really showing up.
Or I'm sleeping in her basement right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
My
wild.
fiance gifted me his Jeep because I couldn't afford to buy a new car. Very kind.
Mhm.
My marriage fell apart. My best friend came and stayed the night with me. That goes back to what you were talking about, Easton. Isn't it wild what someone's just mere presence
It
can
just
do for your mental health?
That's the thing. And like, I would just blank stare at the TV. It was on, but I just wasn't there. And I could feel my emotions start, and like everything starting to just melt, and like just anxiety starting. And I would look left and I would see the 2 people or somebody that was taking the time, and just looking at them would reset me.
Right.
And at least that. And then,
You didn't have to talk.
Didn't have to talk.
Yeah.
I didn't have to say anything. Just looking over at them and just seeing them, even scrolling their phone, I knew it was like, okay, things are normal.
I feel for this person because after dad passed away, I always hated the night coming because it meant everybody was going to go to bed and shut down and I was going to feel alone. And having mom and you, that was great, but it's like you guys are also in a very vulnerable place.
I'm going to tell you, did you not feel, and I know it sounds weird, but I felt like when we were together, it was great, but like when I was going down a terrible anxiety or depression,
you wanted someone removed from the situation.
Yeah, but you and mom couldn't help because I'd look at you and it's like, what help are you going to give me? We're in the same boat sinking. I need somebody else over here rowing. Right. So like that, when mom went to LA, I was like, I cannot because I will crumble. So I had to
we did crumble. We would go through a bottle of champagne and then we realized when we would go to Ralph's, the genius idea of why don't we each just get our own? Why don't we each get two?
But hey, all I can say is it got you through it, right?
I don't know. Maybe
all I can say is when you're dealing with heartache and anything,
you do the best you can.
You really took
every emotion
the
you
personal
feel.
size bottles to another level. You were like, let's just get the big one.
Lauren loved falling downstairs.
Literally and metaphorically. My boss bought me a last minute ticket home to Alaska from North Carolina to say goodbye to my dad. That is the nicest thing. Plane tickets are so beyond expensive.
That's a distance too.
And you literally plan, you don't expect a parent or a loved one to pass away, right? And you kind of go through your year and you're like, okay, I'm going to go home for Christmas. So I'll save my money to go home for Christmas. And most people, they either go home for Thanksgiving or Christmas. Like they don't do both because flights are expensive. That was really nice. I think
people say that though. They just don't want to see their family twice in 2 months.
And we're back. We're back on the Give Them Lala podcast. The shade.
But no, it's incredible. But also to be noticed, like you have to be a very decent employee, I feel like, as well. So she's an amazing employee. I'm glad that her boss could do that because now you feel like you're seen as well.
There's value.
You're valued,
you're respected.
Yeah.
They care about you.
Yes. So that's, good to both of them on that.
Well, and people just, it goes back to what mom's taught us forever. And sometimes you don't do it in the moment, but as long as you learn from it, where it's like shoe on the other foot. In this moment, what would I want someone to do for me? How would I want someone to respond to me right now? And I feel like there's a lot of times that we don't do that. There's been many times where I don't do that. And I look back and I'm like, I would not have appreciated if the roles were reversed and someone said what I just said or did what I just did.
One thing that mom stuck with me is treat people how you would like to be treated.
The golden rule, baby.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds golden and a rule. Is that the golden rule?
That sounds like a Michael Scott quote when he's like, what's he say? He's like, he says some quote and then it's Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky. Treat people how you want to be treated. Lisa Birmingham, Jesus.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly, right? Stuck in Kenya airport, credit card canceled due to fraud.
Oh.
That. And a stranger bought my flight home.
Wow.
Did you
That's
Venmo him?
another level.
That is another level.
I hope you've kept in contact with that stranger.
Yeah, that's
not a
stranger.
That could not have been.
No, that's an acquaintance now. That is no longer a stranger.
That was not cheap.
I'm sending them a Christmas gift every year for the rest of my life.
Yeah, for real. That is so kind. But even that, like, pay it forward where, like, you're going through a drive-thru and you're like, I want to pay for the person behind me.
But
their
who knows
order.
If the person who paid for the plane ticket, what if they were in the same boat and somebody random did it?
Shoe on the other foot. And maybe it's really happened to him, but maybe he was sitting there being like, you know what? I can only imagine what this girl's going through. I can absolutely afford to do this for her. Or maybe he can and he just wanted to be a good person, or she. But regardless, very fucking nice.
Very grand deed.
Give Them Lala is sponsored by Earth Breeze. Like most people, I've been trying really hard to cut back on how much plastic I use, but with a full house and 2 babies, I'm always throwing those huge laundry detergent bottles into my recycling. But did you know that like 500 million of those bottles end up in the landfills and oceans every single year? That's why I made the switch to EarthBreeze laundry sheets. They come in plastic-free packaging, so they're more eco-friendly than traditional detergent. I love that part. I want the planet to be a better place for my girls when they grow up and have kids of their own. So EarthBreeze is an easy way to get clean clothes without all that plastic waste. And now you can get 40% off with your subscription at earthbreeze.com/Lala. That's earthbreeze.com/Lala.
This one is a long one. I also want to say a lot of you guys, because these can get long when I ask you for something so heartfelt. You're like, I get that. It's like you can't fit it all in one thing. You can send a DM and I can screenshot them, or send a DM, screenshot it, and then send it. That's what this person did. My grandmother and I were very close. During her final days with terminal cancer, I would travel between LA and San Francisco every week for about 3 months. I'd arrive from San Francisco in LA at 6 a.m. on Mondays and head straight to my job at an LA agency where I worked in the mailroom for just $7 per hour. Even though we both earned very little, my coworker slash husband would buy me a large Starbucks coffee and leave it on my desk every Monday morning. I know it sounds silly. It doesn't, by the way. But this small act of kindness meant a lot to me. He had to work for an hour just to buy that coffee. 10 years later, they are still in the best husband and psycho bitch marriage. Wow.
Oh, same them.
Yeah.
Those two. Yeah.
Good.
I relate.
No, but
Well-
that really is because when I was in Utah and I was working at my 9 to 5,
Yeah.
like I would go into my office and like very rarely, like somebody would bring me a coffee and like just like a coffee for you, just somebody in the office that we were close with. But I would do it for people as well. But it was just crazy to see like, it was nice to have like a coffee. You're like, oh, okay.
Let me tell you, that's a love language.
No,
That
it is.
That is. I mean, well, even, was supposed to start my new job, right?
Yeah.
On the 13th. And Saturday, Easton and I had stayed up pretty much all night because we're seeing the flames coming up over the mountain. And we're like, they cut the news at 1. And we're like, what the hell is going on? We see the fire. Is it coming? The evac zone is like 2 blocks from
We're
us.
laying in bed, just not sleeping.
And,
just
took a drive at 3, and we see all the police cars blocking it off and getting people out of there.
Very
and whatnot.
bright.
And so we didn't really sleep. And so I text my new boss, who I'm supposed to start for in 2 days. And I'm like, hey, I don't know what's going on. Like, can we push the start date? And just him responding, being like, this is your start date's like the least of our concerns. Like, take care of you, make sure you're good.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, a few days isn't going to affect anything. Like, just we'll figure it out.
Yes.
And like he's like, don't worry about it. And taking that worry off of
The weight off
me,
of you.
Right.
as I'm already worrying about all this other stuff, like that meant a lot to me. And it also, going back to the person who the boss flew them out, to see their parent before they passed. But for me, it's like, even before starting this job, I'm like, okay, there's respect. He's not like, nope, you've got to start. Like, I don't give a shit,
No.
It's like, were you directly that?
Did you have to
most annoying
evacuate?
thing? Did you have to evacuate it, or
No.
were you
Well, then you
directly
could work.
impacted? No,
Mentally, yes.
But people that I love and just the place that I call home, I just feel like there's other things we could worry about, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like that's a great start,
A lot
sad
of-
start, but a great start
great start.
to
I
your new
said,
job.
I said, we're just getting all the bad for the year out right at the beginning.
Right?
So
Yeah.
it's just good from here on out.
Right.
So that's
And
what I'm
rather
looking
have
at.
that. I'd rather have the bad news first.
Give me the bad news. Give it to me.
And
when
let's
people
go on
ask,
with
do you
the
want
good-
the good news or the bad news first? I'm like,
Fucking
they're
bad.
bad.
So what do you mean?
You want to put me on a high and then drop me
Yeah.
30,000 feet? No, thank you.
Drop me 30,000
Keep
feet
me on the
and then lift
ground
me up
and then
to about
lift me
10. Yeah, I won't get to 30, but I'll get to 10 or 15.
This one's really sweet. I teach. My aunt tragically passed away. My teammate did my lesson plans for 2 weeks. As a teacher, you can't just take off. This helped me so much. Take off and grieve. The reason why some of these you may be thinking, Lala can't read. This is true. But also because you have to compact them into such a small space, which is why I encourage
The DM.
to just DM and send them. But I love you guys writing in. After that is huge. Because teachers do not get
A
what
teacher should
they
be making
should
$1
be
million a
getting.
year. That's what I think.
I've said it a million times. How the is LeBron James making so much money dribbling a basketball, but teachers who are responsible for our future, these children, will be the ones that go on to make a difference in our world.
Pay him 30.
It's just
Doesn't
wild.
make sense.
How do we bump that up? How do we bump their numbers
where's this
up?
petition that we can start?
After a domestic violence situation, someone from church as a kid took me in until I got an apartment. Huge. I think anytime someone offers up their home, a safe space, and has someone else come in is like the most incredible human on the planet. Because that is, as someone who adores their home, and I'm not saying this person has bad energy. I'm saying anytime you have someone new come into the house and it's an extended period of time and you don't know, what the future holds, how long they'll be there. And this is me talking very selfishly.
Just a little bit.
It's coming off. I'm aware of it.
I don't think it's coming off selfish.
But anybody who says you are welcome at my home, I'm like, that's a good freaking person.
It's a great person. And also one thing that I have learned over the last 2 years that I've been working on, but if somebody's offering you something, and I don't really like to accept things, it's hard for me. It's really tough for me to receive. I love to give.
Okay.
I love to give. I hate to receive. A weird thing. It's like I love giving to people. But I read, if you don't accept something, it feels good to give. And if you say no, you're taking away that good feeling from that person who's trying to give to you. So accept it. Don't feel bad about accepting it. If they're offering it, if they're offering to bring you food, if they're offering you a place to stay, take it. Now, don't take advantage of it, but take it. Take it and let them be generous to you. And in turn,
let them have that good deed.
Let them have that good deed.
Because you like to do it.
And then in turn, later on, remember that and do good for somebody else.
I think a lot of people have a hard time receiving because they don't want to feel
in need.
They're indebted to somebody. Because I did this for you, you then owe me.
And what's so crazy though is you're giving and you're giving. I like to think I'm giving as well, but every time your guys are giving, I never feel indebted. I still don't like to receive. With you, I do.
Oh, I'm keeping a list. I've got a list, Easton. Don't you worry.
Oh, well,
what you just said reminded me of Joey Tribbiani when he's thinking of what he's going to say in his speech when Monica and Chandler get married. He's like, it's about giving and receiving. And when you give and then you receive, you're constantly giving. There's a lot of that stuff.
Oh, I like that.
No,
though.
I think anyone opening their home, amazing. I opened my home to you two fools.
Hey, she did.
We're gonna get the hell out.
I'm
soon.
just kidding. I'm trying to add some lightness to
the list.
situation.
The list that La has on us is getting bigger and bigger every day.
I don't keep a list.
Oh, okay.
I only the only time I use a list of everything that I've done is when I want to force you guys to spend more time with me.
Well, it works.
I'm like, I did this. Get upstairs and watch a movie with me.
And there we are.
I like time. I love time together.
She's like, you've only spent 18 hours today with me. I need a few more.
The day's not over. I got diagnosed with breast cancer last year, and my coworkers all made me food. The comfort of all things.
Comfort food.
I love this. I was in a really bad car accident a few years ago and was trapped in my car. An old man who saw the accident managed to get in and sit next to me and just held my hand and comforted me until I was eventually cut out of my car. Wow.
Incredible.
That, I'm going to tell you right now, I get claustrophobic. I get a whole lot of things. And if it would have just been me sitting in there, I would have had a panic
Your
attack.
mind runs wild. And if there's just a person who's willing to sit there and take your mind off of what's going on, I mean, I love reading these because I feel like in times like we're in right now, we need to talk about people who still make a difference. Infertility. After spending $45,000 on IVF 5 times and 7 IUIs, my mom helped us adopt our 2 boys by pulling from her retirement. She wanted babies just as bad as we did.
Oh, mama.
That's
the mama
sweet.
always pulls through.
Hey, if a mom can be a grandma,
It's like it completely.
there's no ends.
It's like a different form of love, Mom said. I asked her, what does it mean to you? Like, what is the feeling that you get? She's like, I can't describe it. It would be like trying to describe the love a mom has to someone who hasn't yet experienced being a mom, if they want to be a mom. She was like, you can't explain it.
Yeah, that's what she told me. She was like, the love I have for Ocean is just very different.
Yeah.
But very, yeah.
I loved all of those. I want to thank you guys for writing in and participating in our bonus episode. There were a lot of people who wrote in, and that makes me extremely, extremely grateful. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning into another episode of the Give Them Lala bonus episode. Landy, thank you for participating.
It was fun having you.
Thank you for having me. It was fun to be here. Go give, go help, do something. So.
Amen, amen.
Amen, amen.
Easton, thank you for showing up again. You guys have the best week on the planet. I love you, and I'm going to catch you on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Did I get all three? I'm getting really good at that.